By that time, they all liked him. I'm talking about growing up when he was the character of the neighborhood. You know, making spice racks and he was always checking people's fingernails, making sure the neighbors weren't chewing their nails.
So maybe your dad was a little crazy.
He was probably a little crazy. Aren't we all a little crazy?
Yes.
You just decide how much you want to show the world.
But and a lot of people can't control how much they show. But at what point did your father go from being the nutty neighborhood guy to people actually following him around on the beach?
As soon as he started walking, it just started building.
How old were you when this happened? The walking part.
I think when he was 65, one day he woke up and he quit smoking, eating meat, and drinking.
When he started walking?
I don't know.
Around?
I'd have to do the math.
Were you in high school? Were you a 5-year-old?
No, I think
Give me a decade.
high school.
High school. Did you see the transformation in your father? Did your father, when he came back from the walks, have a different look in his eye? Did he seem more centered, more of a presence to him? Did it seem like that man that says...
He suddenly had a twinkle.
Yeah.
Something happened to him. He'd get up every morning and look up at Venus and say, "Good morning, morning. How are things up around the moon?" That's how he would start his day, because he'd get up, it was still dark out. And then he'd go down and he'd trudge as the sun was coming up.
You always use the word trudge. It seems so weird to me. I've never heard that word.
Trudging is what he called it. He called it the soft sand shuffle, because he was walking in the deep sand next to the boardwalk.
Right.
And it's trudging. It's not walking. It's a trudge.
Have you ever met a holy person that you actually had like a holy person vibe from? A priest, a rabbi, a minister?
No. There's a stillness to certain people.
The Dalai Lama, Richard Gere has the same stillness as the Dalai Lama.
Exactly.
I'm being serious.
But that doesn't mean that Richard is, the chosen actor.
You watch it, fella.
He's just a good actor.
Let me ask you this. Okay, with me it's weird because I hang out with my priests. Like Father Tim comes to my show at the Improv. Father Willie comes on my radio show. Monsignor Torgensen, I know these guys and hang out with these guys. They're so common to me. The thing that separates them from me is their commitment to being uncommon in their uniqueness, like being married to a society. What
is it about them that makes you identify with them? I mean,
their ability to be completely, I guess it's like being a celebrity that you meet that's down to earth.
So you like the fact that they're committed to their cause.
I surf with my priest.
Yeah.
But the fact that my priest is married to Christ and is not married, he's married to his community, but he's completely given his life over. Chastity, the whole thing. 3 a.m, you got to come over last rites. Like that to me, that's why I think priests, and I get a lot of heat on the podcast on Twitter and negative Nellies and atheists that, people love to just, talk about all the bad things about the Catholic Church, but I'm only talking about my church where I go, where I'm sated. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that these guys can hang, the fact that my priest can come to a comedy club and I can work.
Well, I never grew up with religion.
Yeah.
I never went to
I didn't
church.
either. I went to church, like we used to shoot hoops at the church and we went on Christmas and Easter.
My dad would say, go, do what you want to do.
Right.
Go out. If you want to go look at some stuff, go ahead. But it was never forced on us.
When I first went to St. Monica's, and I went to confession, I did all this voluntarily, like I was pulled towards it. And when I had confession, they weren't doing it in the booth, like in the movies. It was face-to-face confession where it's just 2 folding chairs, knee to knee. And the priest, whoever it was there that day, I've never seen him since. And I didn't really have anything to confess. But I felt the need to thank the guy for just talking to me and for the life that I had. And he goes, "This is really great. I'm really glad you've come in." And I said, "Well, I'm not a Catholic." And he goes, "Oh, you're a Catholic." And then he put his hand on my head and prayed. I still don't know what he said, but I'm telling you, just as I'm sitting here, you're one of my closest friends. There was an energy, a line of energy that came from his hand that was in the sky to his hand that was on my head that went absolutely through my body, and it made me cry. And when I see these people, I'm asking you because you talked about there was obviously a charlatan at the end of fucking Airport Hilton that gave out chocolate. Hey, if you come, I'll give you a chocolate.
Listen, that's just there's millions of people that think I'm a knows God.
And they feel the same thing I felt.
Of course.
But when I go in because I'm feeling it out and I'm having a one-on-one, and this all circles back to my priests are such guys that would just be here like working on the car with you, except then they put on a collar and they hear everybody's problems. So it blindsided me. I didn't go to see a priest to get the Holy Spirit. Like when you see those people on the news, like everyone passes out at this church. Well, they go there to pass out because that's where they're, do you know what I mean?
Well, they want to pass out also.
But also, going in, this is that 15-year-old kid that makes people pass out, and everybody, it's like a mob mentality.
But do you really think they're passing out, or they convince themselves to pass out?
I think it's both. Because I know I felt something, and then an atheist would say to me,
maybe you felt something because you wanted to. So suddenly you are open to feeling anything.
But doesn't it have more merit when I didn't know I wanted or needed to feel anything? I went in there simply to see what it was like.
Well, that means you needed something. The fact that you even went in there means you were ready to look for something.
Yeah.
The fact that you are there, you're looking. Once you enter a building, you're curious. Maybe something's
Nobody
in here.
goes on the car lot unless they want to buy a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in life, sometimes everything lines up at certain moments. And did this guy get a jolt from? No, but he could have been a hell of a talker, looked you in the eye, felt love for you. You felt, man, this guy is giving me something, and your body accepted it. So whatever you felt come through you, hey man, listen, I squeezed your neck a half hour ago. I gave you
good.
Yeah, but I gave you a little squeeze, and I said some of the right things, and you felt at peace, because I too can convince people to do things.
Such as?
Whatever I want.
All right, give us an example.
I'm here.
That doesn't make any sense.
It does to me.
Do you think priests should be able to marry?
They should be able to do whatever they want.
See, I disagree completely. I like, it's almost like
if you want to get married, why shouldn't you?
No, because you're a
Listen,
priest.
I don't think anyone should get married.
Because you're a priest, I like, and it's almost like a moral, like, nose in the air, which goes against all the tenets of the Bible and all the teachings of Christ entirely, and being a good person if you're not religious. But the fact that they cannot have sex and they've completely... I don't want to give confession to a guy...
A lot of priests are gay, correct?
Yes.
So that works out.
A lot of priests... That's what's great. When Father Willie was on the podcast, he spoke very openly about, well, it's a huge closet. You never have to talk about your sexuality.
Yeah.
It's verboten. The Catholic Church is the perfect place to draw...
It's perfect, because it's a place where you don't have to marry. And these are guys that wouldn't get married anyway.
But I don't want... My priests are straight, just as a case study, and they had lives.
Because they say they are?
No, they're just because I know these guys. And because they had lives prior to being priests. They weren't, sheltered, closeted. Like, these guys were in their 20s.
Are they married?
No, you can't be married if you're a priest. That's why I asked you. But I don't want my priest to be married. I don't want a holy man that I go to every Sunday, hypothetical. Let's say you're a Baptist. And you go and you talk to your minister, and he gives you advice, and then he goes home and fish hooks his wife.
Yeah, but don't you want to talk to someone that can relate to you, to know some of the same things you're going through?
Of course, but I also think
they should be allowed to marry if they wanted.
I think there's also a separation from the pack. I don't need my priest to know what it's like to you know what? I once had a threesome, and let me tell you something. Somebody always gets their feelings hurt, Kirk. That's not what I'm going to a priest for.
What are you going to your priest for?
Honestly, nothing ever other than thanks, oddly. Again, the same. I'll take my son to the park that's across the street from St. Monica's, and I'll call the rectory, and I'll say to Father, whoever answers, I'll be like, I'm across the street. You guys want to hang out? And they'll go, oh, I'll come on over. And we'll just sit and we'll talk about boxing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not pushing religion on anybody. And it seems like Alan Havey, the atheists that we've had on the podcasts, are just so certain. And that's what confounds me about atheists, is their certainty that I'm crazy. And if you're intelligent enough, I think you should be certain that you can't be certain of anything.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to pick out those frames for your glasses?
Listen, Not that long because they were free. And if they were free,
Why do you free glasses?
I think they kind of came in a packet.
Came with the chocolates from St. Anna?
Amma. I took them right off her head.
They didn't fit on a fat Indian lady's head, those.
No, these were, some of her security guards probably had them.
There's little cameras in there.
I think...
They're good glasses. They're Bono-esque.
Listen, for when we did Tennis Anyone, Donal and I got a bunch of Persol frames. And I popped the lenses out, and I think these are 5 or 6 years old.
Would you agree with me that eyeglass lens choice may be one of the most underrated, stressful choices you'll ever make in your life?
Well, I've been having some eye issues lately, and, because I'm getting ready to do this talk show called The Test, which we mentioned, and I need glasses to see the teleprompter. And so I'm going to have to decide if they're going to let me wear glasses.
So I repeat the question.
Yeah. Oh, it is stressful.
It is an underrated. I don't wear glasses. 2010 vision, pilot eyes.
Okay.
Okay. But I can't imagine having to choose a lens that everyone that ever meets me is going to go, here comes Jay with his rectangular red glasses that he wears every day.
Listen, I'm still battling it. I don't know if these are going to be the ones. I actually like the metal serial killer frames.
Yeah.
But no one
Little
else.
John List.
Yeah, but no one else likes those.
Do you have to put your glasses?
Hinckley.
Yeah, very nice. Do you have to put them through a focus group? Everything when you do a show like that. It's syndicated.
They're going to test.
Now your test, the show, the test.
I don't need them up close, but if I'm going to have to read something, I got to put these on.
And what do you have to read? Coming up next.
Maybe.
LaShonda is going to
knows?
find out. Now the show is basically a lie detector test.
Someone's lying. Paternity, polygraph, DNA.
Really?
Somebody's...
Do you think you could pass a polygraph test?
I could.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I could too. I know you think you could, Matty boy. You don't think you could pass a lie detector test if the cops gave you one?
I'm pretty numb across the board. I can slow everything down. So I think
I could pass one if we were just here. But I think if I was innocent and took one at the station, I think I would fail.
I think I'm such a confident liar that I wouldn't know if I was lying or not.
Yeah, but they ask you those control questions in between that, the slightest difference in any of your bodily functions.
The truth is, lie detectors don't actually hold up in court.
Well, that's the thing. They don't use them in court, but when you fail it, they make it known that, and he failed his lie detector test.
Well, that's why you don't take it if you're facing charges.
And then he turned down his lie detector test, which is dubious. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but if everybody knows that they can't be used in court, then you don't even want to risk failing it and then, 90% of the jury believing you're guilty.
And they ask you those control questions, like Matty Boy just said. They'll say, is your name Kirk Fox?
I can't answer that.
Well, you have to. I'm asking you now.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Here's the thing. I think I could pass one if I was guilty.
I could pass. It depends what they're asking.
Did you kill your girlfriend? If you kill, here's the thing.
When you say kill, what do you mean? Did I take her life?
Already you failed.
Exactly, but I failed so bad that they're going to think, listen, this guy's okay. Let's just hope it never happens.
I feel like if I was innocent, I would fail. But if I was guilty, I could.
The truth is, you just don't ever want
convince
to
myself. I could, like O.J. Simpson, just believe the lie to your grave. Like, no, it wasn't me. Don't know what to tell you. Like, okay, lie detector test. Give me like the control question.
Is today Friday?
Yes.
Is it the month of March?
Yeah. But like right now, I'm thinking about Australia, which is like a day behind. Oh no, they're a day ahead. But if you ask me, is your name Jay? Yes, but I know my birth name is John. I know I'm lying.
Yeah. So
I got so many built-in trapdoors in my lie detector test.
And not only that, but
have you ever blown a guy?
They work.
I'm asking you.
Yes. No, I haven't.
It was that easy?
Okay, you're guilty of blowing a guy.
You're guilty of being a gay guy.
They work in the control questions between the real questions. Like they'll ask you 4 control questions.
Listen, let's just hope none of us have to answer a polygraph test.
I think it would make a really great podcast if we took polygraphs and came back, circled the wagons. All right, just take it out and give them the test. Hook them up. Let me ask you this.
Yes,
the
sir.
test.
Okay.
You are actually friends with Dr. Phil.
Yes, I am.
Doc, you call him.
I call him Phil, Dr. Phil.
Have you ever seen him naked?